Hello and welcome to the Kubernetes Kase Files commentary. I'm your host, Glen Simon, and I'm joined by my colleague, Myles Gray. In this episode, our detective of the story, the hero of the story, interrogates a character named Shrugs, who is probably a manager in, let's say, the development side, who's asked for staff and budget and other things to help them modernize, but he's not getting what he's asked for. So as a result, he's kind of a cynic. And that's, why he shrugs a lot in frustration because he can't get what he wants. So let's kind of relate this to real life. So Myles, what does it mean to modernize an application?
I think there's a lot of definitions to that, but my sort of personal definition of what it means to modernize an app is to make it more scalable, make it meet customer demands better, be easier to operationalize, and cost less to run. That to me would be at a very high level, what app modernization is. So there's a lot of components that go into it.
Mm-hmm. And as we saw in the last episode, what Legacy Bank is struggling with is probably more than anything else, customer experience. Is that, and how, it's particularly maybe part of their customer base has certain expectations for ease of use and just a certain customer experience that they experience with maybe other apps online, and they're not getting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think younger audiences in particular that have grown up with technology have a different expectation of what the experience and what the baseline should be. So usually that's app driven, it's on their phone, instant access, instant justification. They get exactly what they need straight away. There's no talking to a human, God forbid, in a building somewhere. You do everything in isolation by yourself whenever you want. To me, that's the kind of experience. But that's hard to deliver whenever you've got a lot of legacy going on, that you've got an app that you built over 20 years or whatever it is. It takes a lot to move that mountain.
Mm-hmm. So so in this application modernization effort, what do you think typically stops developers from modernizing, or prevents them or slows them down?
I think there's a couple of things. Staffing is usually one, right? So if you don't have enough staff, they're going to be stuck. The ones that are there are going to be stuck, doing fire drills and putting out fires most of the time, break fix stuff. And they won't have the cycles of the time to do feature stuff. And we all know if something's broken, that needs fixed before you can move on to improving something. So probably, bugs, lack of staff. Along with lack of staff, lack of budget. If you don't have budget, you don't have staff. And even if you do have the staff, if you don't have the budget for the kit or the software that you need or whatever it is that you need to put into it, you're not going to be able to make those improvements either. So there's certainly some soft problems related to it, but there's also, larger problems too, like technical debt in your existing tech stack that we all know exists. But again, if you're in that constant loop of I need to fix the thing because it's broken, you can't fix the tech debt because it's not breaking right now.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that developers can solve this problem on their own? Or is it something that maybe there needs to be maybe other parts of the organization, or maybe process? What do you think?
I think that they think they can, which is why we get shadow IT, right? That's why they go off, they use a credit card from some manager somewhere, and they start spinning stuff up, and they think they can solve the problems themselves. But the reality is it takes a cultural change, a business change, and top-down direction to really invest in and pay down A, the technical debt that you have, and B, staff some new people, get the budget, and have a vision for what the customer experience, what the outcome should be at the end. So while the developers are the people that actually enact the change, I think it requires support from all of the sides of the business, the infrastructure, the financial side, the managerial side. So I don't think they can fix it themselves, but I think there are attempts.
Mm-hmm. And as I think we talked last time as well, one of the interesting differences between maybe the startups out there, the organizations without that technical debt, without all of the bureaucracy, they're able to build their apps, let's say in the public cloud, get things going quickly, whereas more established businesses have these additional challenges to contend with, And like you're saying, it just kind of slows things down. Now, a lot of people, a lot of maybe executives, leadership think public cloud is the answer to these types of things. Do you think that public cloud is sort of the magic silver bullet to this problem?
Public cloud does solve some problems, but it also presents challenges when you're dealing with app modernization in particular, because app modernization by definition means that you have a legacy app to modernize. That means that you have some existing system that is integral to your business that needs to come along for the ride, or needs to be, changed in and of itself over time into a new form. And I think you could put components of it into the public cloud as part of your app modernization effort if you want to. But you also need to be cognizant that there are very real technical and regulatory challenges around that. For example, if you have your legacy app on-prem, which you probably do, then the cloud components need to talk back to that in some kind of secure manner, right? So that's challenge number one. There are other challenges around where does the data actually live, from a compliance point of view, especially with like GDPR and other regulations that come out. Stuff you need to be able to say, absolutely, this is the geo, this is the location this data lives in. So it's not quite as simple as just saying, well, I'll move it all to public cloud and it'll make the problem go away. You could take your entire legacy app, which say runs in VMs, and move it to a public cloud and run it in VMs there. But it doesn't solve your problem. You still have those legacy VMs running in public cloud causing the same problems, So it really is one of those things. You have to take the elephant and eat it one bite at a time. You can't just move that complexity P around the plate and hope it gets easier.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, okay, thank you, Myles. And thank you everyone for joining us for this episode of the Kubernetes Kase Files commentary. Look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye.